YouTube, hello and welcome back to another episode of Raging Loop. Last time, first night of the game, we got you saved the reporter, but Hashimoto, the big boy, died, so that sucks, but it is what it is. We also have snake powers, which is super sweet, so it's gonna be an interesting feast coming up probably this episode, but we'll see. Thinking on that possibility, I parted ways with Takumi-san, then returned to my hut and washed the blood off. This is after the cleanup. I went to the plaza again. The people had gathered around the dining hall. They were handing out food, apparently.
あんた、手は洗ったんかね。
はい。
We are
汚れも
hygienic.
落としました。
そうね。お疲れ様。
Tai-san seemed to be a bit softer on me than before.
若い人は食べといで。さもなきゃ、もたん。
そうしましょうか。山脇さんは
あたしゃ胸がいっぱいでね。
食べられそうなら食べに来てください。
And we can't avoid the food this route since we've already had it, so if the food does fuck you up, then it's too late. Giving a vague response, Tai looked up at the boulder next to us. I followed her gaze and...
これは
3! Dude, I called it, man. I said, maybe since we're increasing the amount of participants, we'll get an extra werewolf. Okay, so things are super different this time. Not only are we the snake, but there's +1 werewolf. And I really do think, like, since we're the snake, the werewolves are probably shoveled, so we kind of lose a lot of our information, sadly. Now it might not. I mean, is it? I was so gung-ho about first night investigating, what's his name? Sorry, it's been like 2 weeks since I read this. I know it doesn't seem that from the schedule. That's why I record a lot ahead of time, in case I need to take a break. Whatever, you know, the super sus guy. I don't know if it's worth investigating him. Honestly, we might just have to go back to my original reasoning before we learned who the werewolves are and just investigate either Mako or Old Man Who Cried Wolf, since they can't really communicate. It's just like a pretty safe, like, clear. Unless we can just get the monkeys out right away. Maybe we can convince them to just reveal themselves day one. Then it saves the snake from having to waste some investigations on them. Or potentially. Well, that's a classic. Didn't forget about me pressing shift by accident.
あれは読みから戻った狼様の印だから、あれが2つあるってことは2人
So
だ
now
っ
we
てことだ
gotta
と思う。
we gotta open our mind. Now there's no one clear. We gotta erase all the clears we had. It could be literally everyone. Even Osato. Even my bro. Even Meito. That's what Shiemi had told me last time. And now...
狼様は3人おる。
that's the price to pay to have to actively participate in the game. It's only +2 people, though. I guess maybe it is worth adding another wolf. Yeah, there are 3 of those weird diamond whorls.
どう
Interesting.
いうことです？
後で教えてあげるからね。
わかりました。ではまた。
Yasunada, or Yasunagi, is that his name? I actually forgot their names. Let's here. Refresh mind. I think I remember most names. Yasunada, Matashima is Haru and Kanzo. Forgot Yasunada's brother, but that's about it. Delinquent guy. A bit overwhelmed, I walked away. The number of people had increased. I was told there could be 3 wolves at most, and that was exactly what we got this time. Why? What changed it? What caused this change? There were several differences from last time, but which one of them did it? Just from logic game rules, usually in any logic game you play, the more people playing, the more, by a certain threshold, you have to increase the amount of, like, bad guys, just to make it fair, right? Because if, you had, like, then 10 people playing, 2 people bad guys, if you made it 12 people playing, 2 people bad guys, it adds, like, an extra day of killing, so you have to balance it. Though I'm guessing since we only added 2 people, then we were probably like already at the maximum limit for 2 werewolves anyways, right? Whatever it was, I could assume that knowing the roles from last time wasn't much of an advantage. I agree. We gotta start from day one. At least we like know their personalities, so this time we can actually call out the personality changes, like how they called out Konzo's in the last round when we knew nothing about him. But now I feel like we have a grasp on at least a decent amount of the characters' personalities, so you should try to take note of that when we're doing the feast. Outside the dining hall, Kanto-san was sitting on the ground and drinking something from a large bowl. He looked up at me and said those curt words before focusing on his bowl again. He didn't trust me, nor did he antagonize me more than necessary. That was pretty reasonable, actually. Inside the building, I found the students, Umetsu-san, Meiko, Kyonosuke-shi, and Kaori-san. Well, there's the old wolf guy too, but he was just staring at an empty bowl in the corner of the room.
すみません。手伝えなくて。
とんでもない。匠さん
Yeah,
手伝ってく
so
れ
this is a
て
big
あ
job,
りがとうね。
大した
literally.
ことじゃないですよ。ちえみちゃんと間宮さんは
Mamiya, okay, I was like, who's Mamiya? But that's a reporter.
記者様がカメラの中を見るとかで
Right, we found the camera
部屋にこもっておいで
on
です。
Hashimoto's corpse.
芹沢様はその服を選択されるとかで
Thank you, Rikako. Made sense, Mamiya-san was really bloody.
どうぞ。
Kaori-san gave me a bowl and I took one of the empty seats.
お疲れ様です。夫妻さん。
Yasunada, okay. I'm back in the reins here.
君こそ安永くん。もう名前覚えてもらえたんだ。光栄です。
It's funny he says that, but yeah. That wasn't enough to hint I was looping, was it? I don't think a reasonable person that would be their first assumption if you remember their name while meeting them recently. I took a pair of chopsticks and ate it up. It was a simple meal of some boiled vegetables and meat.
ごめんなさいね。こんなもので。
Definitely not a boiled meat guy,
けど
personally.
あんまり無駄にはできないでしょ。
食料どれくらいあります？
冷蔵庫が止まっちゃったから牛
What?
乳やお肉はもうあまり持たない
Bad
けど
timing.
お米と野菜は心配しないでいいわよ。
Oh, I didn't think about it last time, but at the very least, this awful situation didn't come with a food shortage. Perhaps that was the silver lining. Well, shortage of meat and milk, apparently.
電気がつかないことで他に問題は？
どっちかっていうとガスの方が心配だわ。そろそろボンベ交換の時期だから切れたら焚き火かしら。
山もぶっちぎれだね。
近持ちくん汚い言葉は使わないの。
That's just classic Mochi. Listening to that strangely mundane exchange, I resumed eating. It was actually good. It didn't look like it was, so I felt like I had to close my eyes. Unlike the soup I was given in Kami Fujiyoshi, it was well salted and had a rich taste. The meat had to be the game killed by Kanzoshi and gutted by Chiemi. It didn't read much and had a simple flavor. It It was probably venison. I'd consider this revenge for the time they made a fool out of me in the mountains. Petty. In terms of the amount of meat and seasoning, the people here seem to be eating better than in Kami Fujiyoshi. Was it just my imagination? Where they're both weird communes, but at least in Yasumizu, less people means you can, you don't, because with more people, it's easier to like make just a simpler meal just because you have to feed more people. But with less people, you can add a little culinary charm to it, little seasoning. Because also people, everyone has their different levels of seasoning, but with less people, you're probably safer to over season compared to more people. Some people like their food bland, man. Definitely not me. I'm a spice guy myself. After emptying my bowl, I was offered some more and gladly took it. It was best to eat whenever I had the chance. My boy. I hope we can clear him, man. I don't want Osato to be a werewolf. Kyonosuke suddenly commented. I thought he was being sarcastic, but his tone didn't seem antagonistic. He might hate us though, because we kind of rizzed up Ritato by accident though.
食べないんですか？
家に食料があるのでね。正直、町暮らしが長いと、ここの食事はどうにも味気なく思えるものだよ。
Damn. By local, he probably meant Fujiyoshi as a whole, not just Yasumizu.
それに、今はあまり食べる気にならん。
おっちゃん、食えば？最後になるかもしれないし。
No, don't tell him. We're definitely not hanging him day one, but hopefully the werewolves don't kill him
おい
immediately.
モッチ。
Haru-chan had been completely pale since I had arrived, but she suddenly covered her mouth and ran off to the bathroom. She'd forced herself to eat what she'd been given, but the stress had left her unable to keep it down. That's unlucky.
貴様は人の気持ちを介さぬと拝着されたことから何も学ばんのかね。
It's kind of harsh. She's still a kid, man, but
おっち
okay.
ゃんに言われたくない。謝ってくる。
Disinherited for being rude. Oh, there's probably more to the story we don't know. Maybe. You went to the bathroom too, leaving the rest of us feeling kinda awkward.
この後何があるんですかね？
Feast, feast,
古
feast.
臭い。より合いを開くのだろう。あれをやったのが誰か。それを
決めてどうするんです？
大丈夫ですよ、久石さん。
Yasunaga-kun joined the conversation with an unnaturally bright
理
tone.
不尽なことはきっと起きません。
It's crazy, but okay.
お、なんか頼もしいな。
ええ、大丈夫です。
We'll see. I just can't help not being sus of him, man. I just can't help it, but we'll see. It might just be safe to investigate him just so I don't have to sus him the whole time. I know I was right, but would they really do it 2 routes in a row? I wouldn't put it against them. That would be funny. As I frowned and thought to myself, Takumi-san joined us.
匠さん。
香織さん、大盛りで頼むわ。いいよ、しっかりしてっか。
気軽に呼ぶな。
お、臭いしはしっかり食ってんな。
We're chowing down.
おかげさまでごちそうさまでした。
たく、俺より先に香織さんの飯なんて贅沢なやつだぜ。うまく。
ええ、お嫁にもらうなら
Okay,
こんな方が
dude.
いいですね。
Is this really the time for tomfoolery?
あらあら、お世辞が過ぎるわ。
てめえ。まさか香織
good
さんも
one. That's a Haruki classic. No matter what the situation, gotta throw in something like that. After playing it
と
off,
ころで匠さん、
I told to talk to me in a low voice.
なんだ
宴はいつからですか？
9時がおやっさんの
9? Oh, 9 in the morning, I guess? Or is it night? No, it can't be night. How early is it?
わかりました。
Didn't realize it was so early. There wasn't even an hour before we would begin discussing who to kill. Thought we were eating lunch, but I guess it was brekkie. Takumi-san began eating and everyone fell silent, so I went and moved seats.
大丈夫ですか？おじいさん。
What's up, bro? He was the same as always. Man, just what would we do if he had a guardian?
困りましたね。
Yep, that's why it's really worth investigating him, just because you don't really understand him at all. It's just like not worth the trouble.
おじいさんは休みずのどの辺に住んでるんです？
Apparently that also means goo. This wasn't even a conversation.
すみません。お邪魔だったみたいですね。
ここは安全じゃ。
はい。
ここが一番安全じゃ。だから俺はここにおる。
I mean, probably true. They wouldn't do some sneaky kill tactics in here where everyone is. Or almost everyone. Safe?
ああ、この食堂がってことですか？
No response. Were we having a dialogue or was he just muttering things that made no sense? Was he talking about Yasumizu? That couldn't be it. After all, this was the least safe place in Fujiyoshi. Yeah, I wasn't thinking about that, but that also doesn't make sense to me immediately. I thought that he had a reason why he found it safe, but whatever it was, it couldn't save him from dying last time. I remember he also just randomly voted for Chiemi. I thought it was Tuking, but it turned out Chiemi was innocent, so he didn't really have rhyme or reason for it, so I don't know about that, man. Maybe, like, I thought maybe he knows stuff, but, like, he just voted wrong last time. Same with Mako, but it's a little different. In the end, it wasn't safe for him either. Something seemed off, but I couldn't put my finger on what. I'd somehow lost my right to sit next to him and began searching for a new seat as I waited. What does that even mean? The cloud seemed to move strangely slowly. A chair next to me was pulled a bit. Anyway, where could I sit? Our eyes met. Anyway, where could I sit? Just sit next to her, man. She's our closest ally right now. She expressed it with words. Anyway, where could I?
まさかの方向からツッコミが。
誰がツッコミかね。日が浅くて敬うべき相手がわからんとしても、奥ゆかしい女性の気遣いは受けるのが
I think he was just trolling, but
さっきのが奥ゆかしかったかはともかく、主張自体には反論できない。
そうだろう。ふざけてるのかね。
he is. He's a natural born clown. It's just in his personality sometimes.
お話終了。それはともかく野里先輩、さっきのはもしやノリツッコミですか？
Is this really the time? Less than an hour before the feast to be doing this? And this is like, we can't really discuss anything. We just gotta see the situation at the feast. Can't really strategize yet. Just making a comedy routine out of everyone.
変わった野郎だな。
久石さん、面白い方ね。
Guess it's working.
この顔どうすか。
What is that? Talk to me face.
面白いですよ、匠さん。
Jesus. Kyonosuke, she eventually shouted the standard, "I'm not staying with someone so ill-bred," and left. No, my boy. Well, Tatsumi-san went with him, so I doubted Kyonosuke she would end unlucky victim number 2, as per horror cliches. No one's gonna die. Pre-feast. Did someone die first? No one died. No one died, first day. People started dying in the day after the first Rio night where the werewolves got to kill, so I think everyone's probably gonna be safe this whole day. It came back to me. During the previous feast of the Yomi Purge, Chitomochi Kamoshida and the old wolf guy had been killed, probably by something other than corruption. I'm still locking in my bet that Chitomochi killed the old guy himself, because either Yasunada approached him or he just found out that they're werewolves. And since he's like, oh, the only reason we're here is for my friends, it makes sense that he would just kill the old man and himself, make it a mystery sort of thing. Kill 2 villagers for the wolves, but we'll see eventually. The suspects from back then who are now around the dining hall were, it was Tatumi, Yasunada, which, I mean, if Yasunada did approach him, that would also work. Chiemi and Ritako. Though if I meant finding out the truth, I could just leave that. I just switched gears. Yeah, I'm not worried about that anyways. It doesn't matter to this route, but whenever we go back to the other route. Anyway, I sat down at Suratato-san, who'd said her, oh, I don't even know how to make the noise, so many times she's actually gone limp. Hello, Meiko? So that was my name now, huh? I gave up on correcting her.
やあメイコちゃん、ちょっとお姉ちゃん借りるね。
話されるんですか？それじゃあこっちで遊ぶ？メイコちゃん。
Yasunada then took Meiko with him, giving us a chance to talk.
ひどい人？
美人に言われると嬉しい言葉ですね。
Okay. I was actually starting to find these reactions adorable. They always were. I could enjoy bullying a cute older woman. This was a rare opportunity and I appreciated it immensely.
というわけで、なんでしょう。
私はとても
え、何にです？
最悪の時にあなた方を休みずに迎えてしまったこと。
I mean, it's not really your fault.
それは
It's
仕方
just
ない
kind
じゃ
of
ないですか。
unlucky.
霧が出るなんて予想はできない。
Well, she kind of did predict it, but
いいえ、すべては私たち藤吉の者の最初の在郷によるものです。
最初の在庫。
はい、この村は神の眷属を殺めて栄えた村なのですから。
the ancient story of killing the wolves, huh?
詳しい話を聞きたいですね。
この後
We know this, at
お
least.
そらく山脇様から説明があることでしょう。
Unless there's more info to it. This is the whole confusion of are the wolves on the side of the god Shinai or are the villagers on the side of the god Shinai. I don't think it really matters, but in terms of beating the game, but it would be nice to know the lore.
はい、山脇様が休みずの
Representative.
名代でいらっしゃいますので。
名代、地主とかではなくですよね。
ええ、休みずの土地はすべて村か長者のものです。とはいえ、まとめ役は
So she's the appointed leader of the village from the main village.
山脇様がしっ
かりなさっている方で、一番ご年配
She's not older than the old man, but
裁量を
can't really
持ち
appoint him, I guess.
そういうわけでございます。
なるほど。そういうわけでございますか。
Ooh. Instead of turning bashful, she actually glared at me this time. This was pretty good too. Nah, I think she's pissed. That aside, I now knew how it was. The eldest was the representative, and with that, she was in charge of the feast's tutorial. Did she even explain it last time?
ちなみにマロードってい
I
う
think everyone knew, I guess, already.
来訪者をもてなす文化みたいなものがあるのですか。
はい。そもそもかつての藤吉は狩りの安全の祈願のため新遠方の狩人を
Sorry, skipped some
村
lines.
人はマロードと呼び手厚くもてなしたと言います。
Slow speaker. That made sense. If the belief itself was the village's main draw, I can understand why this unique religion survived for so long. I wanted to get some certain details, but it didn't seem like something I should ask about while alone.
しかし、そっか。
Why not?
リカコさんが僕に優しくしてくれるのも僕がマロードだからなんですね。
いいえ、そんなことは。
それとも怪我をなさった時にその場にいたから。
それははい、感謝しております。でも理
Okay.
由が必要でしょうか。
The blossoming relationship.
いえ、そんなてっきり何か特別な理由があるのかなって。
あったらどうなるのでしょう。
嬉しいかもしれない。
Damn. Sorry, Chemi. You already had her out. If we gotta go Rikato this time. Maybe. Ah, but then no Sato's wrath. I don't know if it's worth it. The adorable woman hung her head down, cheeks reddening. I was the one playing around with her, but that actually made me feel kinda bashful. Perhaps I had to be more serious about her feelings. Why not? How would I do that though? I guess that's why. Forget it. It wasn't the time for that. I was given an important role, so I had to find a way to keep the others alive. Reduce the
そろそろ
casualties.
行きましょうか。
Karisan's voice prompted everyone to rise from their seats. Then we wordlessly began leaving the dining hall. It didn't feel like an emergency, but this was the end of our normal, everyday life. We already had people at the hall. Kanzoshi, Tatsumi-san, Kyonosuke-shi, Yoshitsugu-kun. That's the brother's name. And
みんな
Shimi and Mamiya-san were here, too. Mamiya-san looked depressed. Kinda looks pissed on my screen. Her panic attack seemed to have subsided. But that didn't mean she'd come around to all this. Shimi whispered to me that they couldn't read the data they picked up, so we had no clues from the camera. Unlucky. The wolf guy, the students, Haru-chan's face was still pale. Kairi-san, Rikato-san, Meiko and I all went inside. Something strange happened then. As they went in, they hid their faces with both hands and lowered their heads. It was a really weird gesture. I'd actually seen it last time, though. Tai-san had done this while facing the boulder when Prayer to Shinai was playing over the speakers. There had been a strange veil-like thing on her face. Must have been another local custom. Don't forget the monster with the veil over its face. For now, I just followed their lead. Everyone sat in a circle. It seemed they were seating in order of age, starting from the far end.
山脇様、
It was by age?
メイコのそばにおります。ええですよ。
It wasn't enforced, though.
夫妻子と記者の姉ちゃんは
下座でええ。
It's fair enough.
わかりました。
It's probably... Actually, I don't know if it's better to have, like, the last vote. It might be better to... as long as we can like talk. We don't have to wait to talk until everyone votes. I sat down closest to the exit, then Mamiya-san sat down beside me.
いいんですか？
私ここの住人じゃないから。
Her tone was cold.
何が始まるんでしょうか？
知らない。
She was whispering things like, why did this happen, or this just can't get any worse. Little did she know. And I couldn't see a single trace of that vigor from yesterday.
これでみんなかね。
What are we looking at? Yamawaki-san entered last and closed the door, plunging the room into darkness. Mamiya-san gasped and Meiko let out a quiet scream. But that was it. No one here from Yasumizu was shook. Then there was a click of a switch being turned on, lighting up the bare light bulb across. Or above. There we go. Same CG. +2. The lighting was poor, making everyone's illuminated face stand out more. It felt unnatural. Like a whole other world.
みんな座りんさった。
I wonder where Hashimoto would be when he lives. Would they like push him down here? But he's like giant. He needs to be like, I don't know, somewhere else.
読み意味の宴を始めましょうね。
Also, like, I'd see this is not by age, because Shiemi wouldn't be there. Right. And so it began. Urged by Yamawaki-san, Rikako-san, as though understanding her implications, went deeper into the room. And after a bit of messing around, returned to us without tripping. Serious mode. In her hand, she held a labelless bottle.
新内様に献上されたおみきです。マロードから順に回し飲みしてください。
Rikako-san sat down next to Mamiya-san and gave her an aged sake cup.
これ飲まなきゃダメですか？はい。汚れを遠ざけてくれます。
Mamiya-san didn't reply, but still took it. Rikako-san then filled it with sake.
これを全員で飲むの。いくら飲んでいただいても結構です。お酒は
Damn.
たくさんあります。
Hisato-san glared at the cup, smelled it, then just drank it all down. She sure looked like she could hold her liquor.
普通のいいお酒よ。銀醸化がする。
Impressed by her professionalism, I took the cup from her.
春明様は飲めますか？
どんと濃いです。
With a light-hearted reply, I let her fill the cup. Then drank it all. Yeah, it was actually pretty good. It seemed like a luxury, even I had no idea how such a poor settlement got their hands on it. It's religious wine, you know. It didn't seem like I could ask for more, so I just gave the cup to Beito. Didn't she literally say you could drink as much as you want, though? Rikako-san gestured for her to just pretend to drink it. Same for the students. The sake went through several people without anyone actually drinking it.
ここからお
I know sake wouldn't kill them. And Chiemi emptied it the moment she got it. Rikako-san had been sitting next to her. If it wasn't for Meiko, then took a sip herself, followed by Kaori-san, until Kiyonosuke finally emptied what was left. Takumi-san drank 2 full cups, saying some feast, huh? He got to drink sake during the day. It's 9 AM, dude. Perfect drinking hours. Then the elders each emptied a cup. That was everyone, so Rikako-san took the bottle and cup and returned to her place.
一通り回ったか。耐えば説明せ。
伝承を知らない方もおられます。
The lore.
すべて
そうですね。それじゃあお話ししましょうね。
Finally.
新内様は山の神。大昔この村ができた時は 神内様の一のお守りは狼様じゃった。狼様は他のお守り様、蛇様、猿様、カラス様、雲様らと読み人から人を守ってくれたのよ。
読み人何？死んだ人、生き返った人よ。
They are
大丈
scary.
夫、私がいるわ。
狼様は今も上富士吉の神内明神に祀られとる。他のお守りよりも一等偉いのが狼様よ。じゃが安水には別の話が伝わっておる。狼様は確かに人を助けたが、人を喰らいもした。じゃから人は蛇様、猿様、カラス様。
No new information yet, but I realized they didn't do this in the last game because there's no newcomers to the feast, except for Meito, but I don't know if they would explain it all for Meito. Rikato-san told it Yasumizu's original sin. Last time, Chemi was the one to tell me. Everyone living here knew it, surely. And since Kyonosuke and Rikato-san knew it, the village heads knew it as well. Kami Fujiyoshi's people, though, just continue to revere the Ukami-sama, the wolves.
人は宴を開いて狼様にたらふく酒を振る舞った。他のお守りもしきりに酒を勧めるものだから、狼様は大いに酔
Good
っ
first
払
step.
った。やがて狼様が眠ったところを人は寄ってたかって運び、
Yeeted them.
皿長に放り投げて殺してしもうた。それから藤吉の者はますます栄えたが、時折黄泉から狼様が落ちてきて人を喰らうようになった。狼様は人に化けておられる。じゃから人は狼様を見つけくくって亡きにせねばならんのよ。しかし一日にくくれるのは一人。それが神内様の決めた掟。
Shinai really invented Mafia, huh? This has to be the oldest version of
亡
Mafia.
きにする一人を決める。それを読み意味の宴と言った。夕霧が立つのは狼様のお越しの合図じゃから、みんな支度をする。風呂を浴びて一人一つの家に閉じこもってきちんと寝ることじゃ。それもまた神内様の掟。そうでない者は汚れを受ける。神内様の真実じゃ。
She's taking
お
notes.
姉ちゃん、書くのはやめてくれんかね。
Yo, this is gonna be a killer article when I get back. Mamiya-san was taking notes. She silently put away her notepad and couldn't read her expression at all.
わからんところは教えてあげるからね。
She's still on the grind. Actually, I mean, it's kind of important to know the lore. Could just be for the game too.
ともかくも夕霧の日、神内様は汚れをお下しになった。そして置き場によもつ狼様
Three
の
wolves this
印が
time.
描かれておった。
So we gotta be accurate and actually kill people and hope people don't die in the daytime now, for sure. Since they upped the wolf counter. I mean, it's... Honestly, the bar is so low since how shit the village did last round that we really just need to, like we just get one wolf. We're already on our PB, our personal best, but obviously we're going for the win.
遮ってすみません。置き場とは？
安水に点在する元祖
Bidstones.
人工物と思われるが由来は不明だがね。
安水のものはあれは敬うべきものだと教わります。
かつて水場ができる前は岩の上で火を焚いたことから置き場と呼ぶのだと、そんな話もあります。
That seemed like a weird idea to me, but I just kept listening. It's just lore.
安水はね、まず
Take it for what it is.
土も悪いし日も当たらん。獅子は多いが取るのはいつも命がけ。でも置き場があるからここは特別じゃとあたしらは思ってるのよ。
なるほど。それで印っていうのは？
Werewolf Indicator.
ひし形に渦のようなやつですね。
そう、あれが3つ。じゃから狼様は3人おる。
Spooky.
なんでそんなことがわかるんです？日常茶飯事なんです
They
か？
just explained it. Come on, lady. You were taking
山
notes.
祭り言うてね、毎年お守りの格好をした荷車様方が村中を練り歩く行事があってね、そこで狼様の人数が似たようなやり方で知らされるのよ。
That matched what Shimiya told me last loop, down to the part that there were a maximum of 3 wolves.
なんで3人なのかしら？
親と子なんじゃと。
2 parents and a child. I myself had already imagined something like that, and it turned out I was on the mark. What? It didn't seem that all important after all. The wolves didn't have that manner of blood relationships last time. So are they saying it's 2 older people and 1 younger person? I mean, last time it was old and young. But they didn't really mention anything about that rule last time.
とにかく私も信じがたいけどね、こうなったからには安水の者は狼様をくくらねばならん。それが安水の者が長者の皆様によくしていただいている理由、あたしらの責務じゃからね。
She was still talking. Dude, I'm so bad at detecting it. Detecting the dramatic pauses. Yoshitsuru-kun clicked his tongue, and Yasunada-kun calmed him down. Tatsumi-san furrowed his brow as expected. Yeah, most people don't like the village heads here. The village heads, kind to Yasumizu inhabitants. The exact opposite was true, and many seemed to reject her words. However, she got the story across, and since no one pointed out any problems, it was probably completely right. Yeah, I mean, she wouldn't lie about this.
休みずによるところが大きいのですから。
I also came to understand those words. Yasumizu existed, to be the first line of defense if the wolves returned. The people here weren't some venerable soldiers, though. They were more like sacrifices. In the Shinai faith, Saranado was the entrance to Yomi, so letting someone live nearby, they could stop the resurrected wolves via the feast. In Yamawaki-san's story, this duty was something that Kami Fujiyoshi's family had rewarded in some way. This wasn't the time to focus on the minor inconsistencies, though. There was something more important. I had to listen and see how accurate the rules she presented would be. Keeping my mouth shut, I waited until she'd gone over everything regarding the rules. Then I considered it all. We had these among us: 3 wolves, a snake, 2 monkeys, a crow, and a spider. Yep, the snake could write down the name of a still living person and place it by their pillow before bed to find out what they were. The monkeys, upon receiving their guardians, would be informed about who the other monkey was. The crow would wake up to find out whether the person lynched the day before was a wolf or human. The spider could write down the name of a still living person and place it by their pillow before bed to protect them from the wolves. The powers of these guardians were given out with no regard for the blood of the families they were supposedly protecting. Alright, I don't know if they said that last time, but at least we got hard confirmation for that. Their powers were to be used to discuss and lynch someone each day. There were 3 wolves. They would brutalize one of the humans every night. The wolves had to be purged before they killed all the humans. if you broke the rules. The god of the mountain would bring forth corruption, a supernatural death upon you. Once the explanation was over, the room was filled with the sound of discussion, but there was still something I had to confirm. I opened my mouth.
タイバー、ちょっと待って。まだわからないことがある。
Beat us to the chase, but Yasunada-kun was faster. I don't know what they're talking about or what they're thinking.
狼様は必ず一晩に一人だけ血祭りにするんだっけ？
そうよ。
それはどうして？
It's just part of the rules.
神内様のお膝元じゃ。よもつ狼様も
Is that the question
神内
you
様
really needed to answer?
せんといかん。
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't really matter why. It's just the rules, and if they break it, they would get hit with the corruption.
神内さんはどうしてそんな決まりを狼に与えたんだろう？
それは計り知れんね。
あともう一つ。雲の加護で一人を守ったら、
No.
狼様は
Actually,
他の人を狙えるの？
that's a great question, but in like every case of logic games, like ever, if the werewolf or mafia hit the doctor's target, their turn just ends without killing. Why? Because if they could just choose another target, then the doctor's like heavily not as strong as they're supposed to be, or they're like not a strong roll at all.
それはできんよ。雲の加護が狼を止めれば、その夜人の夢見は必ず守られるそうじゃ。
Made sense.
タイバーは
Standard.
なぜそんなことを知ってるの？
それは私が大昔に私の
タイバーは読み耳の宴に参加したわけじゃないんだよね。
His strong tone made everyone freeze. He is acting a little different than the first feast, right? I mean, he was always assertive, but it's really grinding down on her, and it seems like he's really trying to understand the game.
霧が出るたびに宴があるなら、誰かは宴に出たことがあるってことだよね。
Old man. Also, like, obviously, if Tai and Yasunada were werewolves, probably wouldn't be doing this.
僕の覚えてる範囲じゃ、8年くらい前に一度
8 years
霧が
ago.
出てるはずで。
Wait, they were lying? I thought they were just telling the truth.
兄ちゃんやめてよ
Haru-chan raised her voice and attracted everyone's attention.
やめてよ
Wait, I want to
思い出したく
remember.
ない
I was under the impression that this was the first feast for everyone, but did people go through it before?
でも、ハルちゃん、
No, this is important lore.
やす、わしが後で聞く。あん時には、せがれと嫁が死んどる。
But who was here? Was everyone here? I guess maybe Yasunada was in here with his family. They might have still been part of the main village, and Ritako probably wasn't there. So, and Kiyonosuke and Mochi, we don't really know when they came, but Kiyonosuke came late after Mochi, I think.
おじいちゃん
That's interesting. Okay, so we were just lied to? Did Shami just lie to us, or did she even tell us that? I forgot who told us that no one did a feast before. Oh, I guess no one asked because Yasunada was a werewolf, so he didn't really want to, like, show that stuff. I don't know, Yasunada's seeming kind of innocent this run.
上の土砂崩れの現場見たか？ありゃ8年前に野里が手入れたら崩れてそのまんまになってる。
Wait, oh, maybe it wasn't a feast? Were the random construction workers part of the feast, if there was? It all was coming together. The landslide and Haru-chan's parents' deaths both happened 8 years ago when there was a mist. Or the landslide just happened to keep people in the village and people were caught in it.
私は
Interesting new
休
info.
みずにおらんかったよ。覚えとらんかいね。
Oh,
あんたらがお泊まり学校に行っとる手伝いで上藤吉におった。私は今回が初めてよ。
So who was there?
あったのかもしらん。でも、私のおばあさんは宴に出たことがあったんかもしれんね。
そう。
Yasunaga can bat down, but it didn't seem all that convinced. I also had questioned how the rules of the feast could be passed down so perfectly through nothing but word of mouth. I mean, it's interesting, but also, like, it doesn't really matter. I mean, the lore is important, but yeah, in terms of the actual game happening. After all, rejecting those rules meant death. What if there were gaps in what we'd just been told? Those who never heard of these rules or participated in the feast wouldn't have a clue. From what I knew, Tai-san didn't mention 3 important rules just now. Okay, what are we missing? The wolves also can kill more than one person. Okay, the first point is kind of stupid. Because she said they kill one person a night. Or maybe she didn't say it directly, if he's just being nitpicky like that. But the other 2 is actually, probably should have mentioned that. Unless she's the wolf and she didn't want to mention all the rules. The first 2 were pointed out by Yasunaga-kun, but the last one, the thing I heard from Tanzu-san, wasn't mentioned yet. I wasn't too confident in this method of conveying the rules. Yeah, they should have like a fucking ancient scroll, or just have some written form of the rules for sure. If this was the way they'd been passed down over the course of the feast's long history, it seemed to me that vital information would have been left out like this, resulting in everyone dying through unintended rule-breaking long ago. That would have ended the tradition, and the fact that it hadn't happened meant there might have been other ways of conveying information. In particular, they hadn't mentioned anything about the way the guardians were given. Leaving out the part about how they revealed through blood tests seemed particularly risky. That is kind of insane. Unless it's kind of a bait to like people to like say that they have a special role, but it would be both risky for both the werewolf and the village side then, right? After all, it was possible that you could sleep in and someone could come in and see it without you realizing it, or you could roll around in a bad way and rub it out. First point, I don't think is possible, because if someone were to try to sneak in at night, they would probably just die from corruption, since they're not allowed at night, so... First part, I don't think matters that much, since everyone has their own locked room, right? Second part, though, is kind of fair. That would kind of just suck if you accidentally erased it. Well, if they said it was some supernatural blood that didn't fade so easily, I'd have no idea what to make of that. There's also the possibility that you could walk around with the tats on your stomach without realizing it was there. It took Hanzo-san pointing it out for me to go back and check it. These are good points. But I guess if you're participating in the feast, and you're an actual villager, since it's made for villagers, you would know to check. It's just kind of unlucky we're outsiders. I'd have liked to ask more about it, but that was the same as telling the wolves I had a guardian. What a predicament. Yeah, I was gonna say don't ask about it. It's too risky. But it didn't seem like I had any time to talk about it. And it's not good to hang on the first day. Kinda just have to ride it out here. A reasonable question. But it is, and honestly, I haven't got any like anyone on my radar. I mean, Yasunaga was assertive, but I feel like it's been more good faith. We're just looking for another slip up, another like dodge shit suggestion. Oops. Takumi-san had no patience for such superstitions.
きりの間に何人かぶっ殺して俺らを参らせようって魂胆だろ。
If it was all just a prank like that, that would be one hell of a prank.
様、長者を何だと思ってるのかね。
時代遅れの頭腐った下道だと思ってる。否定できるか？あ？
Jeez.
でもどうやったらあんな殺し方ができるっていうのさ。
それは知らねえけどよ。
匠、なんだって関係ねえ。ほっときゃ狼はみんな殺す。狼は宴でくくる。他の
おやっさん。
I mean, if you know who a wolf is and you can't hate them, you could do like a self-sacrifice, kill a wolf and die from corruption thing. Not saying anyone should, but it's like an emergency measure. Saying that at this point was pretty much an admission that he'd been in a feast before. Yeah, they implied both of the Makishimas were in one, which we just didn't know about. It's interesting. However, his sternness made it hard for anyone to point that out. Or at least he was in one. Haru might have been at a school or something, like Tai was talking about. And having experienced a feast or two before was actually an advantage in this situation anyways. After all, everyone would want to benefit from his knowledge and experience. Might be a reason why he was killed first. Last route. Yamawaki-san's question made everyone look at Kanzo's face. You could tell how much they trusted him. It's just gonna be by vote again, surely.
Oi, Nii-chan.
Me?
Fusaishi Yutaka.
That's me. Me?
なんでしょ
死んでくれんか。
Nah, I'm good. I'm snuck.
Eh?
What? Oh. My mind came to a halt for a moment and I couldn't find out how to respond.
上松。若えのにもう一杯ついでやれ。
牧島様。
ええから次へ。
Rikato-san argued no further and brought me the cup and the sake.
飲まれない方が。
大丈夫ですよ。いただきます。
Take the gambit. I took the cup and she filled it up.
どういうことですかね。
I drank it all down, then looked over to everyone's faces. They lowered their gazes or looked away. Adults, children, the elders, even Shiemi. No one besides Kanzo she looked into my eyes. I could see how it was. I mean, this is just dodge shit though. Going for the Hail Mary random lynch. But Kanzo is certainly different than last time because he wasn't arguing for a day one lynch. Could be a wolf play because it sounds good, but it also just... It could be like he's a wolf and he just wants to get a free kill today. No, it's... What do you mean you'll know more? Wait, he's on my sus list. This lot shit's dodge shit. Even if he were a wolf, one person would die anyways. Because there's 3 wolves. This makes no sense for reasoning. Just say it's a random lynch. He's on my sus list. I understood now. He wanted to start off by unmasking the crow. My death at the tree would be a chance for him to show themselves and say no for certain whether I was a human or a wolf. It's so dumb. But why would you want to unmask the crow right away? I would say it is important to lynch, but you start lynching day 2 for sure. And just have the... I mean, the crow wouldn't know, but the snake would have some info. The monkey should reveal themselves. The monkey should reveal themselves. That's important first day step, I think. I don't think this is a good play, though. Kanzo-san really did know how the feast worked. He understood that victory depended on those with guardians. And since I was new here, I was easy to sacrifice. It preserved the group's unity and mental health. I could tell that they would tolerate me being the one to hang. However, I couldn't let that slide. They would actually just be throwing, though. My current objective was to survive and escape. Not to mention I was the snake, my death would be really bad for the humans. That is true, and this is quite a predicament, because if they just cast the vote now, we would just die, right? Like, we actually have to logic our way out of this one because people would just follow the vote. I don't even think the reason's that good, though. Like, how good is it? Hail Mary, get the crow checking the death first. I mean, it's proactive, but maybe it's not the wolf. It seems kind of dot shit, but it's not. It's honestly not as bad as Yasunado's play. There's actually some utility, so I'll hold off on my sus of him. But I'm a little sus. It does seem like a very, like, being super proactive like this is a very werewolf thing too, I think. At least day one. I think you just gotta chill day one. See how things develop. Day two, we can start going crazy. But anyways, I'm gonna end here since we hit the hour mark. And next time, we'll see how Takumi gets out of this. Takumi? Haruaki. Takumi's chilling. Maybe he can back this up though. We'll see how Haruaki gets out of this. We definitely need to pull some logic. I would really hate to have to reveal that we're the snake. That would be a real bummer. But that's like that's the last. That's our like secret option if we just can't convince him, I guess. But that would suck for sure.